Surama, which sits in a valley surrounded by the stunning Pacaraima Mountains, has become a model, the virtual poster child for sustainable ecotourism in Guyana. Visitors from around the world are drawn to the pristine environment, the rich biodiversity, and the deep cultural experiences that Surama offers.
We have different activities that people would come for. What we find is growing fast now is the people who come in and look at the birds, and that is something growing rapidly. We have people who come for nature and culture. People just come for the quietness of the place, and people want to see wildlife. And that is the big thing about why people want to come here.
Whatever happens in Surama has its people as the driving force.
The villagers wanted to make sure that we would be the owners of the business and nobody coming to take away anything from us and tell us what to do. So from then we were able to take the lead in this business, and today we are happy that we are the owners of the business and we are managing it.
This means all villagers benefit from what is happening in tourism.
Every client come here, they pay a fee to the community, and that fee would go directly to the village purse, and they would decide how they're using it, if it's for infrastructure, bridges, whatever, any maintenance in the community. So the villagers decide how they would utilize that funding.
What is happening in tourism is being replicated in other communities.
We had people from Region 2, we had people from Region 8, we had people from Region 9. We had people from across the other indigenous communities. And for Bina Hill, which is an institute, the interns from there, they come here on a 3 weeks internship as well. So when they graduate, they have some ideas of community-based tourism, of how we do it on the ground here.
Funding from the LCDS has allowed the community to upgrade and expand its eco-lodge facilities.
This here is something that would really benefit us in terms of accommodation and making more money for the community. And that is how we are able to maintain our village, and we want to keep the economy growing and spreading among in the nearby communities.
Beyond tourism, funding from the Low Carbon Development Strategy has allowed the community to venture into agriculture with a plot dedicated to farming.
What we found is that we look at both the long-term and short-term crops. So we looked at things like watermelon, peas, corn, which is a shorter yield than cassava. And we know cassava is actually our staple. So from the cassava we can do casrip, we can do the flour, and then we could do cassava bread and farine, which is like our daily go about. And what we found out as well is after COVID and when we had a big flood, farine has become scarce. So the price for farine is very high because the demand is high and the supply is very low. So we are not going to get the return within the next 2 years. So we're looking at probably a 10-year where when we utilize the money, whatever income we have, it's going to sustain itself like was previously done.
Through LCDS funding, the village is also embarking on a swine project, providing another vital source of income and food security.
Everybody's doing cattle, and everybody's going to cattle. We have cattle in majority of the villages in the north, Rupununi, and in south. And Rupununi was once the supplier when they had the cattle trail and these things. So when we say we're going to go swine, we see that restaurants and these things are into food. And sometimes people from Brazil, some from the Caribbean, they come in and you would hear them asking for pork. And it's like, we have to go somewhere far to look for pork. Like we are in the tourism business, some people ask for that as well. So we said, we can do it right within the village, and that could be a project that can be sustainable by itself.
At the heart of Surama's success is its commitment to preserving culture. With the LCDS supporting initiatives that celebrate indigenous traditions, Surama is able to share its culture with the world while passing it down to future generations.
Since we are into tradition and culture, we want to showcase everything that is within our culture. We decided to build this binab so the people from the community could come and practice and do the traditional dances because they don't have any other places they could occupy right about now. So they decided to build a binab in a traditional looking way with everything traditional.
The low-carbon development strategy has empowered Surama to thrive while staying connected to its roots and conserving the rainforest. From tourism to agriculture, from swine production to culture, the LCDS is helping this indigenous village to carve out a sustainable future. Reporting for the newsroom, I'm Neil Marks.